just what we believe to be the next phase of this industry, because once you get to an IP-based network architecture, once you get to a place where you can virtualize some part or all of your network functions, you can change the network and the network functions and its capabilities significantly different than what we've been able to do in the past. And I think that's what's got Imagine really excited about. And I think one of the things that's going to be exciting about this year's IBC is there's going to be a lot less hype about what people are talking about and more implementation and more demonstrations about what's actually available. We have very few boxes that are here at the show. We have a lot of our technology that's running on common off-the-shelf computing platforms, things that are running in hybrid environments, things that didn't exist 3 years ago. If you think about this industry that's going through as much change as we're seeing right now, it's really being driven by the internet and what the internet has really done to change the business models. It's changed the go-to-market models. You've got huge disruptors in the OTT platforms and players that are really changing the way our traditional customers, our traditional broadcasters and TV networks and studios have to think about how they go to market. 3 years ago, I remember sitting on stage talking with many of the larger TV networks about them going direct to the consumer, and they said we would never go direct to the consumer. And today, they're all going direct to the consumer. And it's because the consumer is, for the first time, the ones that are really driving the consumption of their content and how they want to consume it. And so certainly, we see a resurgence and a new paradigm shift in the way the traditional satellite and cable players are being able to and have decided to deliver their content. And a lot of those new business models, frankly, are because the content providers themselves now have a capability, i.e. the internet and mobility, to actually get their content in consumers' hands that they didn't have before. And so you've got all these competitive dynamics that are really changing the way the equipment suppliers ourselves are thinking about how do we go to market and where do we place our bets? How do we become an enabler in all of this next generation technology and new business models and so forth. And so I think this slide is very appropriate in the sense that when you look at where the true OTT players are at today and where the IT players are at and how they're approaching our industry, from bringing in standard off-the-shelf common computing platforms, next generation storage platforms, and how that aligns with what we're doing. Certainly the viewing habits, as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, are really dictating all of this. And certainly, we're all watching TV at home, but we're watching less TV on a fixed screen than we are on a mobile device. The cutting the cord, I think, has been over-dramatized. Certainly, there is change in the way the average consumer is behaving in their consumption of video content on traditional satellite and cable TV. But in all practicality, it really hasn't declined that much. I mean, to see 1.5% to 2% subscription declines over 2 to 3 years is not significant in reality. And I think that as long as the cable operators and the mobile operators have spectrum and they have connectivity to the home, they're certainly going to be in a unique position to drive the bundles and the business cases and the business plans, because they're tethered to your house, they're tethered to your mobile device, and certainly they're bringing internet to whatever device it is that you're using.